You blocked me on Facebook, and now you're going to die.
Social medication, named after our addiction to this so-called social media. But do you know the price you pay for this addiction? Do you know how many hours a day you spend on social media? Do you know what it's doing from generations young to old? If not, follow this documentary to find out what this social medication is. At dinner, at gigs, family gatherings, at the cinema, and mobile phones are annoyingly everywhere. We cannot escape technology. With this technology comes media, social media. Take this scenario for example. A group of friends, all are having lunch together. Every one of them on their phone ignoring the world around them. Sat on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Snapchat, the list goes on. Do we really know what social media is doing to our health? I'll be exploring our habits and how our mind changed through the use of social media. Do you have a social media account? 2 billion people worldwide use social media. This means that 28% of the population of the world are interconnected. Now, how much time do you spend on social media? For many, this social media can be an escape. Those of us with social anxiety often clutch to our phones for safety, scrolling through Facebook to avoid real human interaction. Ironic really, seeing as it's called social media. But what do the public think? I went along to High Remington Rangers to go and find out what they thought.
Social media is good because you can catch up with like friends that you haven't seen like for ages. So I'm in high school now, so me speaking to my friends from primary school who like live like 2 hours away from me, it's really good because I get to talk to them over like Facebook and everything.
I think social media has lots of pros and cons. I think it's, for me, fantastic because at this point in my life, a lot of the friends that I made at university I'm no longer in contact with, that I sort of meet on a regular basis. So for me initially things like Facebook have been a fantastic way to actually keep in contact with their lives and what's going on, and for them with us as well. So I sort of hear from them on a daily, weekly basis, and it's really nice because I think that if it was just down to email, phone, or actually physically meeting up, that would never happen whatsoever. So in a way that's a good thing, but it could also be quite intrusive as well, and you sort of finding out maybe a little bit too much about people that you don't really need to find out about as well. But I think that social media definitely has its place, and I think that's where it's positive for communication purposes, both on a sort of social sort of level, but also maybe on from whatever people do like hobby-wise or work-wise and things like that, that they can use it to communicate with other people. But I think that it also has a detrimental effect on how people sort of communicate with each other, because they can actually also be not good communicators. Even though they're actually sending messages, they're actually not, that actual face-to-face thing has been lost, and I think that that's where things can be misunderstood and then things can escalate from there on.
We're being stuck to our phones, tablets and computers. What is this social media actually doing to us? I did some research to see what social media medically is doing to our minds. I came across a useful video which describes what Facebook is doing to our mind. It helped me become more aware of Facebook depression. Yes, you heard me right, Facebook depression. It's a real thing. First, let's talk about the video. This video made popular by a science YouTube account informed me and a lot of other people about what social media is actually doing to our brains. He explains that 5 to 10% of the internet users can't decide how much time we spend online. We are physically addicted. He also states that the brain rewards us from going on these social media accounts and networking sites. We get rewarded in our emotions, we get attention, and it helps with decision making. This develops our brain. But easy reward with posting a status and getting likes actually brings on the same kind of addiction as an alcoholic or a drug addict.
Can't log off? Surprisingly, 5 to 10% of internet users are actually unable to control how much time they spend online. Though it's a psychological addiction as opposed to a substance addiction, brain scans of these people actually show a similar impairment of regions that those with drug dependence have. Specifically, there's a clear degradation of white matter in the regions that control emotional processing, attention, and decision making. Because social media provides immediate rewards with very little effort required, your brain begins to rewire itself, making you desire these stimulations, and you begin to crave more of this neurological excitement after each interaction. Sounds a little like a drug, right?
So social media is hurting us in a sense of addiction. But let's talk about Facebook depression. First of all, what is it? Facebook depression is when you spend a lot of time on Facebook and you feel bad because everyone else is posting their best lives forward. They've gone out for a nice meal and you'd be sat there and you may be feeling a bit low about yourself, so you could post something that other people may say is negative. So you put your feelings forward. This in return can bring unwanted comments about how you've become attention seeking or how you should cheer up. This bad feeling caused from these comments and seeing everyone's happy lives when you feel like you're sad sat at home is Facebook depression. This Facebook depression is one of the many reasons that teens have anxiety and depression. I went along to the Open Door Centre to go find out what they thought.
The Open Door Centre is a mental health charity that was designed to provide support for people that are experiencing depression and anxiety, but in a way that's dead informal, dead laid back, and quite different from what you might get from traditional clinical or medical interventions for mental health. So we're staffed largely by young people from the local area that might have experiences of depression and anxiety themselves. And we do loads of fun activities as well as the therapeutic support that we offer as well. We've got our own festival, we've got our podcast, we do weekly sessions in the centre around arts and music and creative writing, meditation, and we also go out into the community delivering workshops with the idea of raising awareness of mental health.
What dangers do you think social media hosts?
I think for, well, first of all, it's a very easy way for people to be horrible without having the necessary repercussions that might have in real life. So you can call someone a horrible name on the internet and, you know, not have to, you know, either be on the receiving end of anything horrible back or not have to witness the upset that causes. So I think social media can remove the a lot of human elements of interaction. I think it can you don't know who you're speaking to, you don't know. Someone can say they're a 19-year-old lad from Manchester who's in a band. In real life, is he a 60-year-old obese man that hasn't left his bedroom for 4 years and is doing this for the wrong reasons? So there are a fair few dangers when it comes to social media.
Is social media safe?
If you're safe and if you're cautious and careful and following all the proper procedures, then yes, it is safe. If you're not putting out your personal information, if you're not speaking to strangers that you've never met before, and if you're doing everything to look after yourself online, then it is. But unfortunately there are some people that maybe aren't educated when it comes to social media and maybe do silly things, speak to strangers or whatever. But I'd say as long as you're responsible, it is safe. Like I said before, there's the dangers of not knowing who you're speaking to. But you've got to look after yourself, haven't you? And you've got to remember that just because someone's saying X, Y and Z doesn't necessarily mean that that's true.
What does social media actually do to the mind?
So there's the idea that you're the negative effects of it. There's the idea that your friends are always out at the party and you're the one that's left behind. You only on social media, you only see the very best of people's lives. And people that do share the negative things that are going on in their lives get called attention seekers, get called cranks, get a lot of negative things if they decide to share the negative things that are going on in their lives. On the flip side, if you're only ever sharing the positive sides, then people get a very unreal impression of what your life is like.
Have you had people come to the Open Doors Centre because of social media problems?
Not necessarily because of social media problems, but that has come up in discussions. So online bullying is a massive issue for a lot of young people at the moment. So we do get people in that come in and say that, you know, that's an issue. We get people that have maybe started online relationships and then when it's come down to it, it's not worked out, and a lot of that is because, you know, you're basing it on sitting at a keyboard and not having real face-to-face interaction. So they're the two main issues that come up, but we've not had anyone directly come because of social media.
On social media, if you type Facebook into Google, you get 13,430,000,000 results. If you look further and type Facebook depression, you get 165 million results. And if you start to type, "Why does Facebook make me?" into Google, it'll follow with the most search things. The top searches start with, "Why does Facebook make me depressed?" "Why does Facebook make me anxious?" "Why does Facebook make me feel bad?" And "Why does Facebook make me feel sad?" We live our lives around the social media, adding it to a part of our daily routine, and all it's doing is damaging society and our health. Studies show that 63% of Americans log on to Facebook daily, and 40% log on multiple times each day. Talking about society, is social media actually social? I went to Higher Bennington Rangers to go and find out if they thought social media was actually social.
Not as such, but if people spend all their time fiddling around just looking at things and chatting and not talking to people, it's not good for personal relationships.
Yes, I'm a prime example of this. Yeah.
Did you care to explain why?
I rarely ever go out because I'm on social media all the time.
Yeah, in a way, because you could literally spend like 3 hours on Facebook when you could have been going out with your friends and all that, but it can also damage your mental health due to something called Facebook depression. And it's just like, you could go out, you could go meet new people, but instead people are just sat there on their computers, you know, writing new statuses that are like pointless, like eating crisps pop up, and it's just like, why would you want to do that? Seriously, the whole world doesn't need to know that you're eating crisps or what the inside of your kitchen looks like, you know. It's just, I just don't see the point.
Advertisements. Although they can be annoying on Facebook, Tumblr and Twitter, but some people are actually getting advertisements on these social media platforms and developing their businesses. 70% of marketers use Facebook to gain new customers, and social media will account for 22.5% of digital marketing budgets in the next 5 years. I talked to a student who runs her business through social media. Let's see what she has to think about social media.
My business is a home-run sort of company that I make personalised toys, jewellery and teddies and so forth for charity. I recently started up a Facebook page and a web page, which I'm still in the process, but at the moment I use a web page called DeviantArt to advertise and sell my goods, and in all honesty it has actually helped quite a lot, as more people from across the world tend to ask for new products and then order over online. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't have my website.
What are your sales like in comparison to not using social media?
Before I used social media, they were okay. I did craft fairs and little days where people gathered together and copy sales and things to sell, and people took interest and tended to buy them, but it wasn't that many, because when you see people in person you tend to have a look at your stuff and go, oh right, okay. But while if you were to do it on social media, you get people who are looking for specific items and they can research that specific item and find it and buy it, so it has broadened the sales quite a lot.
Do you feel that businesses that use social media have a bigger audience in sales?
Yes and no, as if you were to sell something in person, the person there can see the product, feel the product, see it, the quality, while a person online, they can't exactly do the same. They've just got a picture, but if I'm honest, online you do have a broader audience because obviously they can research what they're looking for and find it there and then, whilst if they were to go in a shop they might not find it at all.
The average amount of friends someone aged 18 to 39 has on Facebook is 300. There are nearly 1.4 billion Facebook users. But do you accept people you don't know to be your friends? It turns out that most teenagers do, and some of these teenagers are actually meeting these people. Many teenagers who have just got Facebook are often led to grooming. This is when someone builds an emotional connection with a child to gain his or her trust for the purpose of sexual abuse. Since the increase of social media sites, there has been an increase in child grooming. Many teenagers have been told about talking to people they don't know, but still risk their lives to talk to strangers, even going to meet them. I came across an experiment about child abduction through the internet. It shows a YouTuber talking to several girls and posing to be a teenage boy. With their parents' permission, he talks to these girls for several days. Here is the result from the oldest child.
This next girl, her name is Jenna. She's 14 years old. We've been talking online over text message and even had a phone conversation.
So right now we have the parents of Jenna. Jenna thinks her parents are going out tonight for date night. She thinks my brother is gonna be driving, so she's gonna get in the car, but she doesn't actually know that it's all just me. So I'm gonna text her right now. Did your parents leave yet? Yeah, like 15 minutes ago. Do you think she's gonna go through with this?
No way.
Absolutely not. I don't even believe it's her.
Okay.
Probably want to have friends playing around with her.
What's your address? All right, is this your house?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go. All right. We are here, come out. You don't think she's coming out?
She better not be coming out.
Oh, I see a door opening.
Yeah, please.
Yep. I see someone.
Can't believe this.
Are you Daniel's brother?
Yeah. Hop in. He's in the back over here.
Jenna, stop! It's your mother and father! Jenna, look, turn around. Turn around. Turn around. How could you dare go into a stranger's car?
With every social media account, there is pages and pages of terms and conditions. But how many people actually read these terms and conditions? And do we really know what they mean? I decided to go through the whole of Facebook's terms and conditions. Here is what I found. I found that you cannot pose as a celebrity or artist. I found out that you have to use your real name. If you don't use your real name and put a random name or something that's owned by Disney like Mickey Mouse, that's actually against their terms and conditions and they can get rid of your account, delete your account. You're obviously not allowed to post any viruses onto Facebook. Even when you delete your account, those Facebook pictures are still on the internet forever. Once you've posted something, you technically can't get rid of it. Even if it deletes and it doesn't show up there, someone will have a record of you saying that or posting that picture. Facebook has actually made their terms and conditions easy to understand. People who used GameStation several years ago got a big shock when ordering a game online. The contract said they had to sell their soul to the devil for them to continue to pay. Thousands of people fell for this and actually ended up selling their soul to the devil. But several people who didn't get caught out by this and they didn't agree got a £5 gift voucher for next time they shop with them. You can now see why the branch quickly closed all its doors and later set up a new chain of shops known as Game. So with this in mind, how many of you read the terms and conditions? Many people that do read terms and conditions are often put off by companies creating the text into a block text. This block text creates more of a texture than actual words. This texture puts the reader off, missing vital information that we need to know. Many of us click agree blindly, selling our information and even our souls to billionaire companies, and including Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook. Overall, this social media is doing more damage to our health than we can afford. The only question is, will we know when to stop? Or will we become more dependent on the social media as time goes on? It's our choice. Will we look up from our screens, or will we fall into the world of social media and have this social medication?
Top us from